Hi guys, this is Shrimler Carlos. On today's video, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you my review of episode 8 of The Big Bang Theory season 2. Rover. Howard is broken all over. So here we go, guys. I love this episode because it focuses on Howard and a little bit of Leonard, and I'll get to why does this episode focus a little bit on Leonard. Well, here we go. So here's the gist of it. As we know, as you guys know, Howard is not a physicist, but he works at Caltech because he's an engineer. So he's not a doctor like Raj, Leonard, and of course Crazy Sheldon. But he's an engineer. He's a aerospace engineer. So here's the gist of it, guys. He tells Stephanie Barnett, who's a doctor, who's a doctor, not a nerd doctor, not Sheldon, Raj, she's not a physicist, but she's a doctor. But anyway, Howard to impress Dr. Stephanie, tells Stephanie that he's working on helping the Mars rover, which he actually is. He actually is helping the Mars rover on his mission to Mars, in his mission in Mars, but by some weird accident, the Mars rover gets stuck on Mars, and it cannot move. So what does Howard do? Calls Leonard, Raj, and of course Sheldon. But before all of this happens, Howard comes into the episode dressed up as a he has an eye patch on his eye to impress Stephanie, Dr. Stephanie, and Penny thinks that Howard has gotten pink eye, and Howard says, on the contrary, Penny. On the contrary, I'm going to impress my date, Stephanie, with this, and with this outfit. And Howard does a pickup line test with Penny, and the test doesn't go well for Howard. Instead of going well for Howard, the test, Penny pulls back the eye patch, very pulls it back, and then the eye patch goes directly into the eye, hits the eye of Howard. So going back to the Mars rover. So Howard calls the guys, and he says to the guys, code DEFCON blue, or I can't remember, but it's DEFCON code something. I can't remember, guys. You can check me on that. But Sheldon is like, the DEFCON code, the color code that Howard uses is no biggie. Is no problem. By the way, during this whole funny mess of Howard calling the guys, Raj and Sheldon get into get into a debate, a Star a Star Trek debate. Now, guys, if you want to know something fun about me, I'm neutral. I am a Star Wars head, but I don't mind Star Wars. I am neutral. I am neutral when it comes to the debate which franchise is better, Star Trek or Star Wars. I believe Star Wars is is the is the best franchise of the two, but I do not mind it because both deal with space. Both deal with space, but different characters. But anyway, so Sheldon and Rod get into a Star Trek debate. To be more specific, on which of the old movies, which of the old franchise movies, meaning Star Trek 1 through 5, which one of the 5 movies are the best? But to settle this debacle between both of them, Sheldon devises a new game. Well, it's an old classic game that we all know and love, rock paper scissors, but with the twist of Lizard and of course Spock. So here's the gist. Of course, all the classic. Of course, the classic way to win rock paper scissors. Rock paper scissors. Rock paper scissors still stands. Still in the same way, like in the old school version, like in the normal way. But the lizard, bites Spock. The lizard shrinks the rock with his ray gun, and of course the classic way. So all throughout the episode, Rod and Sheldon have a rock paper scissors lizard Spock battle. Meanwhile, for Howard and his date with Dr. Stephanie, it doesn't go well. So it does go well, but not in the way that Howard planned, because again, the Mars rover is stuck. So Howard asked asked Leonard to take Stephanie back home. But to the surprise of all of us, Dr. Stephanie starts kissing Leonard all over, and Leonard says to Stephanie, why did you say yes to Howard being your date for tonight? And Stephanie said, because he said, I can take over the controls of the Mars rover. But instead of taking control of the Mars rover, she took control of Leonard. Took love control over Leonard. And as the episode goes on, things heat up between Dr. Stephanie and Leonard, which gets to this funny part. uh, Howard told everyone in his family, even Mrs. Wallet, his cousin, his aunt, that he met Dr. Stephanie, and he calls Stephanie at her house, but she's but she's with Leonard at the time. So Howard leaves several messages while 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 Stephanie and Leonard are, getting getting romantically acquainted, like two romantic two romantic two romantic vampires that are just loving on each other, and they take it to they take it to the spicy level. If you know what I mean. Then a few days later, Leonard has good conscience, has an internal conversation with himself and his conscience, and he decides to tell Howard the truth. But when Leonard goes to Howard's house, uh, Howard opens the door, and then he receives a call, a cell phone call, right there in front of Leonard by Stephanie, saying it's over. Now we don't hear what Stephanie is saying on the phone, but all we can decode is Howard saying and then he hangs up on the phone, and he says to Leonard, you're dead to me. And then a few days pass by. Howard is pretending that Leonard is a ghost, and he ignores him until Stephanie comes into the apartment, not into the apartment, but she knocks on the door, and she basically says, Howard, I'm sorry. What I did, or what we did, was totally uncalled for. Uncalled for. We should have told you a different way. And of course, Howard is like to both Stephanie and Leonard, you're dead to me. And but then Stephanie says, that's too bad that we're dead to you. That's too bad that I'm dead to you and that Leonard is dead to you, because I was hoping that you could take my friend from work out, so we both can go on a double date. Then all of a sudden, Howard's tone turns from a dark side, evil, crushing, heartbreaking dark side way, into a light side, seeing the force in a whole different new light of hope. And with that, guys, so with that being said, guys, that's about it. And if you're wondering about Ron and Sheldon's battle of rock paper scissors lizard Spock, they tied. No one No one won. And they even got uh, they even got Howard to play a triple threat match of rock paper rock paper rock paper scissors lizard Spock. But again, in this triple threat match, it's like between Rod and Sheldon, all three of them tied. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Remember to leave a like and let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments which part of this episode did you like, and are you like me? Are you like me when it comes to Star Trek and Star Wars? Are you neutral, or do you favor a franchise over the other? So with that being said, guys, until we nerd again, bye.